And welcome to tonight's Board of Appeals hearing. Before we begin, let me introduce some members of town government that act as advisors to this board. To my left is Paul Heddings, counsel to the board. To his left is Elaine Leonard, principal planner. And to her left is Blaise Donadio, a planner in the planning department. Now let me tell you why you're here tonight. New York State statute requires that any town that adopts zoning must also have a Board of Appeals to act as a relief valve so that those persons aggrieved by strict application of the zoning ordinance can seek relief without the expense of going to court. Town board can give Board of Appeals additional powers such as a special exception approvals, site plan approvals. In Smithtown, the town board has given this board authority regarding certificate of existing use and some special exception uses. The most common kind of application before the board are area variances. Area variants deal with dimensions such as lot area, frontage, height, setback, and parking spaces. New York State statute mandates the board must consider the following 5 criteria in area variances. When you come to the podium to present your application, you need to address these 5 areas. They're posted here for you. Number 1, whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties will be created. Number 2, whether the applicant has other feasible alternatives. Number 3, whether the variance is substantial. Number 4, whether an adverse impact on the environment will be created. And number 5, whether the alleged difficulty is self-created. The statute requires the board to balance the interest of the applicant and those in the neighborhood or community. This statute further requires that the board shall grant the minimum variance deemed necessary and adequate, at the same time preserve and protect the character of the neighborhood and the health, safety, and welfare of the community. The board has the power to impose reasonable conditions for granting variances. Special exception applications are different than area variances. When we have a special exception application before us, I will explain the different criteria for each. Regarding procedure, cases will be called in order that they are advertised. When your case is called, please come forward, submit your affidavits and mailing receipts to Mr. Donadio, and then you will be sworn in at the podium and given the opportunity to explain to the board why you need the variance. After the applicant is done speaking, all interested parties will be given one opportunity and only one opportunity to be heard. So please organize your thoughts, keep your remarks factual that are related to the case. And then I will ask the applicant to come back to the podium to answer your concerns. The board will then close the case and reserve decision. After all the hearings are closed, the board will review the cases and decide some of them. Others will be reviewed at a later date. There are 3 ways to find out the results of the case. Number 1, you can wait until after the public hearing, but there's no guarantee the board will act on your case tonight. Number 2, you can call the planning department tomorrow afternoon. And 3, applicants can wait and be notified by mail. After a hearing is closed, no additional information or testimony can be submitted by the applicant or any interested parties. We do have some adjournments, so let me tell you what those adjournments are. Case 17310, DSD Real Estate Holdings of Smithtown, has been adjourned to April 28th. Next case is case 17317, 271 Smithtown Boulevard, LLC. That has been adjourned to April 28th. Case 17288, 2J's, Inc., has been adjourned to June 23rd. All right?
Thank you, Madam Chair. The first case on the agenda, number 17309, James Urbat, 221 Larch Lane, Smithtown. The location of the property, the north side of Larch Lane, 478 feet west of Brookside Drive. The property is zoned R21. The applicant is requesting a variance to add to a lawful nonconforming structure to reduce the minimum buildable lot area from 21,780 square feet to 8,712 square feet due to high groundwater. The actual lot area is 21,780 square feet. Permit environmentally sensitive land, depth to groundwater less than 10 feet to be altered for a proposed 801 square foot second-story addition. Reduce the minimum front yard setback from 50 feet to 36 feet for a proposed 52 square foot porch addition.
Are you here? The applicant? Oh, come up. Bring all your papers. May I have your name, please?
Laura Pomey Urbat,
And your address.
221 Larch Lane, Smithtown, New York, 11787.
Okay, raise your right hand, please. You swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
Yes, I do.
Thank you. You want to tell us why you're here, please?
Yes, so my husband and I purchased our residence in 2008. At the time, for two of us and two dogs, it was big enough. We now have a 16-month-old son and plan on growing our family. So we are looking to stay in our neighborhood and have a house that is a little more functional. The house is currently 800 square feet in size, which I'm sure, as you can all imagine, is very, very difficult with a toddler, two dogs, and us. So what we are looking to do is a very minimal expansion. We are looking to go straight up over the existing foundation with a small cantilever over the back to give a little extra room for closet space, and a small expansion to the front porch to allow for a more aesthetically pleasing structure and a nice feature to have as part of the house. In terms of the 5 criteria, we do not believe that our expansion would cause a undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood. The existing neighborhood is residential in nature. We would continue to have a residential use on the subject property. Also, our architectural finishes will be in character with those of the neighborhood. In terms of the benefit, whether the benefit can be achieved by another method, my husband and I have been looking for over 2 years to see if an additional house in our neighborhood was available in our price range, and it's just not. We are in our early 30s, and we are trying to live in a neighborhood that we love, in a community that we grew up in, and we would like to stay. So we did look, and it's not an option. In being able to do most of the work ourselves, a second-story addition would be an affordable option for us. So that's why we are pursuing this avenue. Whether the area variance is substantial. Again, as I described, we are going over our existing footprint with a small cantilever over the back. There are houses on the block and in the surrounding neighborhood that are much larger in size than ours. So the variance itself is not substantial. The front yard setback is also in character with the existing neighborhood, as several properties along this block have similar setbacks. The development was built in the late 40s, so the hardship was not self-created. This was built before any of the current zoning regulations were in effect, and therefore it wasn't our fault or the fault of the owner before us as to the current setback. And whether it will have an adverse impact on the physical environment. Again, we're not changing the use of the subject property. And if anything, as a certified ecologist, I make sure that every time I replace landscaping, we use native plants in our landscaping and use as many green features in our property as possible. Again, as a residential use, we're not going to be increasing the intensity of the use on the site. It will remain as is. It will just be more comfortable for our family.
Just one question. I noticed you have a garage which is very tall.
Yes.
Do you have a CO for it?
Yes, we do.
Okay, thank you. Planning?
No comments?
Gentlemen?
No.
Hold on.
Okay.
Thank
you
you
very
so
much.
Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
It's regularly moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Madam Chair, the next case, number 17311, Dana Lanciotti, 106 Morewood Drive, Smithtown. The location of the property, the north side of Morewood Drive, 1,085 feet east of Stanwich Road. The property is zoned R10. The applicant is requesting a variance to reduce the rear yard setback from 12 to 3 feet for an existing 140-square-foot shed, reduce the side yard setback from 12 feet to 8 feet for an existing brick oven, reduce the total side yards from 28 feet to 11 feet.
May I have your name, please?
Hi, my name is Danelle Lanciotti,
And your address?
106 Morewood Drive, Smithtown.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
You want to tell us why you're here, please?
We're here because we moved into the house about 2 years ago. We had an existing shed there that was falling down, so we replaced it. We didn't realize, we got a bigger shed and didn't realize about the setbacks for that, and that's why we're here for the setback for the shed. A pizza oven we put in about 6 months ago, and the setback on that was incorrect. We based it on the setback that we had originally gotten for the pool house that we have on the property. They told us that the pool house setback was 7. We made the pizza oven 8, thinking we were better than what we thought it was, and it happened to be 12. So we were off a little bit on that as well. So it was just, basically, we're off a couple of feet on each, and it was mistakes that we didn't realize. So I sent all my mailings out, and I think everything, all my neighbors were okay with it. And hopefully you will be too.
Planning?
No comments.
Gentlemen?
Oh, thanks.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on that application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
Regularly moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
The next case, number 17312, John Vetter, 1 Ellie Lane, St. James. The location of the property, the southwest corner of Ellie Lane and Heidi Court South. The property is zoned R21. Go that way. The applicant is requesting a variance to reduce the minimum setback of an existing 6-foot fence from the edge of road pavement from 20 feet to 12 feet.
May I have your name, please?
John Vetter,
And your address, John.
1 Ellie Lane, St. James, New York.
Raise your right hand, please. You swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Before I get going, I was just speaking to the gentleman over here from the zoning board here. I unfortunately didn't mail within the 14-day window. I mailed within 7 days. So I may have to request a different date because I didn't get as much back as I thought I was going to back within a week. So I don't know if I can maybe put another date out there.
You tell me. You have to adjourn it? Okay.
Just adjourn, yeah?
Can't hear it. The attorney said we have to adjourn it.
Okay, that's fine. No, I have no problem with that. What date do you think I could get? The 12th, May 12th?
May 12th?
Because I think the 28th would be too soon, I
Yeah,
believe.
it will.
Would be too soon. Okay, 28th is fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's fine. May 12th. Was anyone here that wanted to talk on this case? Okay. You know you have to change. You have to change the date too on the.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
I have the board to
Okay.
All right. Madam Chair, the next case, number 17313, Joanna DiGiovanna, 7 Angelica Court South. Hopog, the location of the property, the south side of Angelica Court, 529 feet east of Mount Pleasant Road. Thanks. The property is zoned R15. The applicant is requesting a variance to permit environmentally sensitive land, depth to groundwater less than 10 feet to be altered, for a proposed 18 by 36 foot in-ground pool.
May I have your name, please?
Joanna DiGiovanna,
And your address, please?
7 Angelica Court, Hapog, New York 11788.
Okay. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Now, would you like this gentleman to speak for you?
Yes.
Okay, why don't you come up?
Yes, good evening, everyone. My
right.
name is Tom.
Just wait a minute. Get that mic so it's up. Yeah, you can lift it up
How's that?
better. And will you give me your name and then spell your last name?
Sure. My name is Tom. Last name is Svatek, spelled Svatek.
Okay, and your address?
9 Farm Road in St. James.
Good. Raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. You want to tell us?
Okay, so you can see the paperwork in front of you. We're requesting a permit to install an in-ground swimming pool. It's not really an area variance. We've got compliance with setbacks and zoning as far as I'm concerned. It's in conformance with existing use, residential, single-family homes. There are many swimming pools on this same street, several of which I've installed. We did hit groundwater about 8.5 feet. I don't think this project is going to impact the environment in any way. We're not going to create any runoff or introduce any contaminants into the soil. So the application seems straightforward to me. We're not going to go near groundwater. Maximum excavation depth is going to be 5 feet. So it's a shallow pool. It's a saltwater pool. We're not going to introduce any chlorine. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to entertain them. It's a pretty straightforward thing as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. Planning?
No comments.
Gentlemen? Hold on.
No question.
Okay, thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Good evening.
Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
It's regularly moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
The next case, number 17314, Tara Siri, 1 Story Brook Lane, St. James. The location of the property, the southwest corner of Story-Brook Lane and Pumpkin Road. The property is zoned R21. The applicant is requesting a variance to reduce the minimum front yard setback on Pumpkin Road from 50 to 43 feet for a proposed 392-square-foot garage.
May I have your name, please?
Tara Siri,
And your address?
1
Tara.
Storybook Lane in St. James.
Where's the paperwork? Okay, all right. Okay, everything in there?
Yes.
Okay. Did I give you one of these? Yes? No? Okay, let's start again. Let me have your address.
1 Storybook Lane in St. James.
Okay. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right. Would you like this gentleman to speak for you?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Hello and good evening. My name is John Cunniff, Cunniffe.
Did you get it? Did you get the last name? Okay. And your address?
11 Stony Brook Avenue, Stony Brook, New York.
Okay. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Thanks for hearing our case this evening. As it was stated, it's fairly straightforward setback request. We feel we're holding 50-foot setback for our zone, both on Storybook Lane and on Pumpkin Road. The house is on the corner. This would be a modest one-story addition that obviously triggers a setback because of the radius on this turn. I don't feel that, just looking at this from a neighborhood perspective in the wide intersection there, three-way intersection, as just don't see this being a certain negative impact, and it's in my opinion, a sort of a minor application. However, I'm open to any questions about the application at this time.
Okay. Planning? Gentlemen? Okay.
Thank you kindly.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Thank you. Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Okay. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
It's regularly moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Aye.
I feel special. Madam Chair, the next case, number 17315, Anthony Federico, 27 Robin Hood Court in Wisconsin. The location of the property, the west side of Robin Hood Court, 828 feet south of Nottingham Court. The property is zoned R15. The applicant is requesting a variance to reduce the minimum side yard setback from 16 to 8 feet and total side yards from 34 to 24 feet for an existing 204 square foot deck with hot tub.
Good evening, Madam Chairwoman, members of the board. My name is Douglas Hines, Design Development Group, Stony Brook, New York. Appearing here tonight with a power of attorney from the current owners, Anthony Federico and Eleni Politis.
You swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do, ma'am.
Thank you.
We've handed up for the board's consideration a copy of the tax map derived from the Real Property Tax Service Agency database and some photographs showing the raised deck and hot tub in the vicinity of the pool in the backyard in support of our request to reduce the side yard from 16 to 8 feet and the aggregate side yards from 34 to 24 to maintain this 204 square foot deck or platform with hot tub. As you can see from the tax map, the property has a rather untypical configuration, which made the placement of any improvements on this property quite challenging. It was the last lot in that subdivision with frontage on what was laid out and actually paved as a cul-de-sac and later opened up for the neighboring subdivision. When that subdivision was approved, we created a mirror image lot right next to us. So it's a very odd configuration, both intrinsically and with respect to the neighbor. It's respectfully submitted that the variances we seek will not impose an unwanted impact on adjacent parcels. Inasmuch as the deck is of modest size and height, it is very well screened from neighboring homes and is for seasonal use only. As to substantiality, although the deck's encroachment is not minimal, it's still over 8 feet from the property line and is only 2.5 feet high. The closest neighboring structure, which is the southerly neighbor's attached two-car garage, is approximately 32 feet further away for a total distance in excess of 40 feet. As you can see from the photograph we provided, there is dense screening provided by both deciduous and evergreen trees and shrubs. Due to the odd shape of the lot, there was no ready alternative position for the deck in proximity to the pool, no environmental impact to speak of, and while the condition was self-created by the prior owner for whom we started this project before they closed title, we would respectfully suggest that this fact alone should not be a bar to granting the variance, and accordingly we stand ready to answer questions and respectfully request your approval.
Okay, thank you. Planning?
No comments.
Gentlemen? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Good evening.
Evening. Is there anyone here that'd like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second?
Billy moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Madam Chair, the next case, number 17316, William and Christine Falk, 14 Wadsworth Place in Smithtown. The location of the property, the southwest corner of Wadsworth Place and Brook Lane. The property is zoned R10. Thank you. The applicant is requesting a variance to reduce the minimum front yard setback on Wadsworth Place from 40 to 35 feet for an existing 40 square foot portico.
Ready?
May I have your name, please?
Christine Falk,
And your address?
14 Wadsworth Place, Smithtown.
Okay, raise your right hand. You swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Who's talking?
Christine Falk, me.
Good talk. Okay. You're just there for support. Okay. You want to tell us why you're here, please?
Sure. So we found the property about 6 months ago, and we took a while to close on it. And in the process of trying to close, we figured out that they did not have the proper permits for the portico. And upon that, my lawyer went back and forth with them, and we were going to let them come here and say their piece. However, I do have a baby coming next month, and we needed to get in the home, so we figured we would take over that part ourselves. Upon that, I think that looking at these questions, I think it is aesthetically very appealing. Our neighbors also have the same additions to their homes. I think that It was not self-created. It was an existing addition, and we did not have a choice on the matter. And it is a very small, 5 feet difference from the front of the home. So,
Okay. Great. Planning? Gentlemen?
No, ma'am, thank you. No question.
Thank you so much. Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second?
It's regularly moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Gosh. Madam Chair, the next case, number 17318, Matthew Pospisil. I hope I got that correct. 9 Dogwood Road, Kings Park, the location of the property, the east side of Dogwood Road, 420 feet south of Washington Drive. The property is zoned R10. The applicant is requesting a variance to add to a non-conforming structure. Thanks. And reduce the minimum front yard setback from 25 to 23 feet. Reduce the minimum side yard setback from 12 to 9 feet, 8 feet existing, and total side yards from 28 to 17 feet for a proposed 759 square foot attached garage. Increase the maximum square footage of an attached garage from 750 to 759 square feet. Reduce the minimum front yard setback from 25 to 20 feet, 23 feet existing, for a proposed 46 square foot porch. Increase the maximum front yard paving from 25 to 30%. Increase the maximum side yard paving from 25 to 51%. And did I miss this?
The typo?
Oh, I'm sorry, the typo. I have to digress.
Go ahead.
Back on the variance request, reduce the minimum side yard setback from 12 feet to 9 feet. It should be 12 feet to 8 feet. It is a typo. Thank you.
Yeah, it was 8, it's 8 feet existing, right?
8 feet existing, yes.
Okay. May I have your name, please?
Matthew Pospisil,
And your address, Matthew.
9 Dogwood Road.
Okay. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Want to tell us why you're here?
Yes, I purchased my house about 2 years ago, and like every other house on the block, it's pretty much a ranch, except it doesn't have any garage attached to it or anything like that. And I would like to build a garage because I have, a car, a couple cars, and I have jet skis, motorcycle, and in my opinion, it's a little bit of an eyesore to sit in the driveway. I'd also like to protect it and put it in the garage, if that was possible. And
Planning?
No comments?
Gentlemen? Anything? Bill?
No question.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Come up, please. Use the mic as much as you can. You can bring it down. May I have your name, please, and would you spell your last name?
Last name is Manisero, M-A-N-I-S-E-R-O. First name Connie.
Okay, your address, please?
23 Dogwood Road
Okay.
in Kings Park.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I live at 23, which oddly enough is right next door to number 9. And I really am not in favor of having a 2-car attached garage on my neighbor's home, which is going to be right on top of us. None of the homes in the area have garages right on top of their neighbor, and it will really, I think, have an adverse impact, I feel, on my property for sure.
Okay. Anything else?
I mean, it's a small house and 2-car garage. It's really, it'll take up all of their yard and be right on top of us.
Okay. Thank you. Where is he? You want to come back and answer any concerns that your neighbor has? Bless you. Okay.
I'm sorry, but my neighbor happens to have a two-car garage as well as several other houses on the block. And I believe the only reason for the side yard to be reduced to a minimum is unfortunately my house doesn't have a full basement, just a partial basement. And I have nowhere to put anything as far as in my house because I have 2 kids and a growing family. And also I have no way to access my basement except for going outside of the house and underneath my deck. I would like to gain access from the garage into my basement so that I can access my utilities. It would be add to convenience as well as safety, in my opinion, if there's, let's say, a snowstorm and I can't get into the basement and, I lose power or something with my boiler.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I noticed the proposed garage is 24 feet wide by 32 feet deep.
Yes.
A standard 2-car garage, you can probably get away with 9 feet per bay. You're proposing 12 here. Do you think we could compromise, and would it suit your desires if this thing gave you 11 feet for each bay, bringing it to 22 feet, which would give a 10-foot setback on that side, which would kind of accomplish 2 goals, get it a little further away and also give us the ability to get that paving a little further away from the side yard also.
I believe that might be possible. The only problem is, I'm not 100% sure. I didn't draw the plans, but there's a staircase from the garage into the house.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of cutting into the house, it kind of halfway into the garage. I don't know if I could.
Do we have a set of plans?
Yeah, let's look and see. Yeah.
The staircase is the one in the back, I guess?
No, I think it was on the inside. You know what?
It looks like he's showing it in the office.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Actually, yeah, that shouldn't. My mistake. I thought it was a little bit into the garage. I guess, yeah, that shouldn't be a problem.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second?
It's barely moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion
Aye.
carried.
Madam Chair, the next case, number 17319, Thomas Hayes, 2 Breezy Hill Drive, Fort Salonga. The location of the property, the southwest corner of Breezy Hill Drive and Sunken Meadow Road. The property is zoned R43. The applicant is requesting a variance to reduce the minimum side yard setback from 24 to 5 feet for a proposed 22 by 42 in-ground pool with 80 square foot spa.
Just grabbing the papers you guys need here.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
May I have, you're the applicant, am I correct?
Yes.
All right, let me have your name and address, please.
Thomas Hayes, 2 Breezy Hill Drive, Fort Salonga.
Okay. Raise your right hand, please. You swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Would you like this gentleman to speak for you?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
My name is Paul
No, come up to the mic, please, and I need your first name and your last, and spell your last name,
Paul Como, C-O-M-O,
okay? And your address.
317 Lockville Road, East Northport.
Okay. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, we're here for Mr. Hayes.
You got to keep using that mic.
We're here for Mr. Hayes to have a 5-foot setback on a proposed pool that already was granted a variance about 25 years ago. Basically, we're just trying to get more room in the backyard, and behind that property is a sump, town property. So there's no neighbors adjoining next to his property. We're trying to renovate the pool and bring it back up to date to today's standards.
Okay.
It's a proposed 22 by 42 pool with an 8 by 10 spa.
Mr. Donadio, this is the case where we think that part of the something is on town property? Is there anything that's on town property here?
This one, there is, it indicates on the survey that we have with the application that there is, I don't know what type of fencing it is, I'm assuming it's chain link, and it looks like it's coming from the applicant's property and crossing onto what would be the recharge basin property. Is that correct?
When Mr. Hayes bought the house, the filter and all the equipment was there before he moved in. So he just left it there. I mean, Mr. Hayes went for other variances when he first bought the house to do renovations, and was never brought up at that time, so.
It cannot stay on town property.
Okay.
I've gone through several extensions, and this was here 3 years prior to me even buying the house back in '91. And I've had building inspectors, nobody's ever brought this up before. In order for me to move all the pool equipment, I'm gonna have to take down trees, and I really don't wanna do that. I mean, is there any way we could work something out with the property? It's a small piece of property.
I don't have that authority.
I don't think, it's been this board's policy that any encroachments kind of run with the variance. So if we approve a variance, it's for this application, and anything that encroaches needs to be put back on before they'll issue a CO.
Well, what about, I mean, it's been there for 26 years.
Our board doesn't have jurisdiction over town property.
Okay.
I don't know of an avenue for him to legally keep it there. Maybe planning does, but.
Not that we're aware of, no.
No.
I mean, could I purchase the property? I mean, could I?
I don't think
Well, if any of us owned it, we could answer that.
That's probably a question for the town board, so.
I mean, it's a small piece. Your sump fence veers away, and it's wide open to my property.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm just telling you that it has to be moved.
Okay.
All right, so getting back to the pool itself, I mean, Mr. Hayes obviously understands that he didn't do it in the beginning, and he didn't mean to have it there, but now that we have to move it, which is fine, we're just asking for the variance to do the newer pool.
All right, I'm going to tell you that there's no secret, and the reason there is no secret, you know what that is, the environmental agency, DEW. We cannot make a decision until they give us a secret, and the reason they didn't give us a secret is because you're on town property. So,
Well, Mr. Hayes already said that we'll move the filter and all that other stuff and
okay,
do it.
okay. And then that's on the record, so then let's see if Mr. Barnett then can add, can give us a secret so we can make it,
So the existing
decision,
pool,
okay?
the existing pool is in the same location where the proposed pool is
We're
going to be.
just trying to move it over about 5 to 7 feet.
No, it's
Trying to move it over to give more room behind the house, because it's very close. I mean, he's on a corner. A lot of his property is the corner, and the way the house is situated, and the way the property is in the backyard, he's got a really small backyard, and basically that's called side yard.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
So is it a reserved decision, or?
We cannot make a decision until we get the secret from the environmental department.
Okay. So
Okay.
what do we do now? I'm just asking.
Well, you can call the environmental department if you'd like to, and tell them that you are removing everything, and then
Yes.
they should be able to issue a secret. And if they do it by the time the next meeting is, then we will make a decision.
Okay, so we have to refile?
No. No.
So, all right, we'll have to call the environmental.
Okay.
You don't have to.
You don't have to, but
It would just help if you just
Well,
call
I
and say,
Mr. Hayes is understanding that he has to move it. It was there when he bought the house. He didn't put it there, but it was there, so blah, 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 here we are now, and he's trying to rectify those situations
Mhm.
and move forward for what he wants to do in his yard. So we have to come to the next hearing.
no.
No. I'm hoping that we get a secret decision, and then we can make a decision.
Okay,
So you don't have to come and you don't have to refile.
thank you.
But, and if you don't want to call the environmental
No,
department, that's up to you.
Well, we want to move forward, because right now, it's getting close to summertime, and,
Okay.
if we're going to do something, he would like to know if he can.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Let me ask you, what would be the process about that little piece of property? Who would I talk to about that?
About buying it?
Yes.
Town attorney.
Probably the town board,
Town attorney.
or town attorney?
Yeah, because the town board's going to refer him to the town attorney
No,
anyway,
Town
right?
attorney.
Okay. All right, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? All right, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
Regularly moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Madam Chair, the next case, number 17320, Glennis Humphreys, 2 McKay Drive, Hopog, the location of the property, the southeast corner of McKay Drive and Old Willets Path. The property is zoned R10. The applicant is requesting a variance to reduce the front yard setback from 40 feet to 0 on McKay Drive and Old Willets Path for an existing 5-foot and 6-foot fence. Reduce the minimum setback from edge of road pavement from 20 feet to 10 feet for an existing 5-foot and 6-foot fence.
Hello. Oh, this is from the last case. Bill? Bill? This is from the last case. Okay, may I have your name, please?
Glennis Humphreys, 2 McKay Drive, Hopog.
Okay. Raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Want to tell us why you're here?
2 years ago, I had purchased the property. I had replaced a decrepit stockade fence that the owner had purchased back in 1997. I was informed that he did not follow through with the proceedings for the proper permits, and it was brought to my attention about the variances and the setbacks. I believe it satisfies all of your current needs now. It does not encroach nor infringe on any environmental issues. It's pretty straightforward. It's a unique structure. The house was built in 1907, and I have a unique shape to the property. So in effect, the way you can see from the floor plan, I have 2 front yards per se.
His fence is on town property too? Fence on town property?
It Appears by looking at the survey, yes. In the right-of-way. In the right-of-way.
Do you realize the fence is on town property?
I wasn't made notified of that through my visits to planning and building.
They can always
This is the first I was notified of it, ma'am.
about that, I guess, Glenn, right? They maintain the right-of-ways. So it would really be up to him whether or not he would want it relocated. Yeah. Madam Chair, just for the board's information, the Highway Department oversees the maintenance and repair and improvement of all of the town right-of-ways. We would recommend that the applicant contact the Superintendent of Highways, Glenn Jorgensen, and ask him if he can determine whether or not he has any objection to the fence being in the town right-of-way, and if not, if he would kindly put that in writing for this board.
Yes, sir.
If he does have an objection to it, unfortunately, the board does not have the authority to allow you to maintain the fence on town property, so it would probably have to be relocated.
If
Okay.
so, how many feet? If so, how many feet back would it have to be?
Looking at the survey, it looks like it goes anywhere from about 1 foot to about 3 feet.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. And once we get a letter from him, if we do get a letter saying there's no objection, we will make a decision. Okay? Thank you. Okay. Is there anyone here who would like to be heard on this application? Come up, please. May I have your name and spell your last name?
Yes, my name is Robert Vitulano, V as in Victor, I-T-U-L-A-N-O. My objection...
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Give me your address.
14 Berkshire Drive, Hop Hog, New York.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Good.
My objection is where the fence is. When you're coming out on McKay, going onto Old Willets, it's virtually impossible to see the cars coming when they're coming from the south to the north. I have pictures here and a video of how far you have to be into the street because of the fence being there, especially the 5 and 6 foot areas there. If you'd like to see it, can I show you?
I'm very well aware of it.
Okay. That's my biggest objection, or my only objection.
Okay.
Okay, and then when you come in the other way and you're driving on Old Willets, the cars have to come out so far that you think they're going to pull into the street and hit you. It's really, I can't believe there hasn't been some fatality there. It's very, very dangerous.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Madam Chair, just as another note, if you look at the survey of the property, you can see that the fence on the south lot line is actually on the vacant lot to the south owned by Joseph Scalara. So that would be considered an encroachment on someone else's private property.
Okay. You see that? Let me explain it to her. Come up for a minute.
Go ahead.
Go with the mic.
The first thing that was addressed 2 years ago, and I applied for the appropriate permit, and the fence was even brought back even further from the original structure. Amendola's brought it back considerably, and the corner clearance, the permit was obtained, and the inspector deemed it quite visible, in fact, and we brought it all the way to the tree that's on the corner. So it's even more visible than it was when the stockade fence was there and existing.
Okay. The other thing is, do you realize the fence is on private property
And this is the first time I'm being advised that it was encroaching on,
in 2 areas?
I wish I would have been notified of this prior,
I think it's on your survey.
but no, I don't know how to read a survey, and I've been done several trips back and forth through planning and building, and they've been very helpful, and this is the first I'm hearing of this.
Yeah.
So I need to contact Joe Scalera as well?
No,
And
well-
Mr. Jorgensen?
Well, the whole problem is that our board can't grant you a variance on somebody else's property. What happens is if you request a variance from 40 feet to 0, we have the ability to grant to 0, but we can't grant past that. If you understand what I mean, it's on the neighbor's property. We don't have the ability to actually grant you to keep something on somebody
This
else's
is
property.
a newer owner. 2 years ago, it was rented out to several different people, and then the house burned down to the ground just a few months ago. So now I guess this is a newer owner, but this is the first I'm hearing about an encroachment.
Right. It's not, we don't have the jurisdiction to grant you the ability to keep your fence on someone else's property, either, whether it's the town or the neighbor.
Mr. Tanzi, how would I go about doing that?
Well, what people have done in the past is one or two things, either move the fence or go to the neighbor and get them to basically say that it's either their fence or sell you the property. One of those two things has to happen.
Yeah,
realistically.
I think it'd be easier to move the fence.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm sorry, but I mean, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. If you want to take a look.
You want to take a look? Look. See, here's the fence. See, it's dark. So it's here. Part of it here. Over here.
Anywhere that dash line goes over the dark black line, it means it's off of your property and on someone else's.
This was a newer one. The original one that was drawn up, I actually, to be honest with you, if you look at the original one, it's not reflecting that.
No?
So, but this is the first I'm hearing of this. That's why we're
Here. You want to take one of these?
I have.
Got them? Okay. Thank you. Okay. I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
It's already moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Yeah.
Okay, that concludes it.
That's it.
Okay. Thank you so much. That concludes our hearings for tonight.